Rastafari clean out. Babylon them a fool down. Babylon them a fool down. When I stamp on the stamp ground. Rasta use them a stamp.
Alright man, Rose. One of the main reasons, that I'm doing this podcast is because I really feel, as a bodhisattva, that we can change the world and we can use our creativity to be more and achieve more and to love more. So that's why I brought you here, man. We connected on the internet. Facebook, like 2 days ago, actually.
Literally.
Yeah, man, I've been really busy and doing a lot of stuff, and I kind of like, normally I like to prepare for my podcast and see who's actually going to come. But I just chanted and I really detached myself from whatever happens, and you've come and turned up. So
Universe.
It's the universe, the mystic law, man. So before I take it any further, man, just tell me a bit about yourself, King.
Alright, well, my name's Rose, Really Rose on Facebook. I'm 28 years old. I do music, songwriting. I'm kind of like a creative person. I've done a little bit of activist stuff. Like I've gone on a lot of protests. I'm just trying to do my little bit, what I can in the community to try and make your
bit of change. Tell me about this jumper, by the way, G.
Pardon?
Tell me about this jumper.
This jumper, it's Adventure Time. I don't even watch it, but I just see it online and I was like, I need this jumper. And then all my brethren's kids were like, Adventure Time.
Do you know what? I've only literally met you for a few hours, but already it's weird. It's like the colours and the energy of that jumper almost represent what you are. It's weird.
It's crazy.
It's like beautiful. Let's make a change. But one of the reasons I wanted to bring you down is because you mentioned you chant. And you're trying to get your Gohonzon, and we're going to explain kind of what Gohonzon is in a bit later. But that's why I really wanted to bring you down, because I feel like me and you are going to be able to kind of talk and express about Nichiren Buddhism. First time, man. This is my fourth podcast, and I haven't actually spoke about Buddhism, how I want to speak about it. I kind of just let people speak. So together we're going to do some stuff, man, hopefully. But first of all, man, as I always do it, we're going to do like some good news. I want to do something where I just talk about something a bit less sad than everything that's on the metro,
Some positivity.
So bear with me, I've got a few things, man, because a few things actually touched my heart today. And this happened last night in Golders Green in North London. So it's the title of it is Good Samaritans hold on to a suicidal man on a bridge in Golders Green, and they hold him for 2 hours and strap him to the bridge. So I saw the photo, man, who know that I put the photo up. There's this photo of this man on a bridge, and someone saw him, jumped to him, took his belt off, wrapped him up. The man's like struggling for 2 hours, loads of people like held him there. And I just like, again, man, it just shows me like how much people are willing to let other people like flourish and live, instead of like be like in the mind and like lost. And it like, I don't know, that really touched me. Did it touch you, man? Like it worked.
It did touch me, because like I've been there myself. I'm in a very positive place in my life now, but I know when I was younger, I went through like depression. So, like I tried to take my life. If I'm perfectly honest, I'm not trying to bring down the mood or anything, but that's a part of my life.
Okay.
What I was a long time ago, and like I'm so glad today that I didn't die. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm in a good place now, and I feel like things are going well for me. But at that time in your life, it's so easy to think that nothing positive can happen. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just all about kind of tapping into the universe and just, like exploring how amazing you can possibly be. And like I'm really glad that this person was like rescued, and he's able to hopefully find that happiness and find that purpose in life that he deserves to find. So,
but that's touched me, because for you to say that's what you went through, and you're here, and I'm saying you're Adventure Time, man, ready with all this. You know what I'm saying? Look at the change in energy, man, and how possible it is to actually be so much happier. So that's incredible. That's meant to be that was my first one.
For real.
This is another one, so it's not as deep as this, but it just touched me again, about how humans are really just like, we are like love. Right. And it said, a woman's faith has been restored in humanity after a stranger returns her wallet with £1,600 in cash inside a shopping place somewhere in Hawaii. The stranger contacted her via Facebook.
Wow.
Can you imagine? So it's not like all that money, and the woman said to newspapers, I was so thrilled, my heart was racing so fast. I tried to reward her and give her some money, but the woman wouldn't take it. She just wanted to be friends with me from this point on. That's someone, if you ask me, that knew that there was a connection there. So she thought that the
it's good karma.
Good karma, yeah. She knew that good karma is much more than £1,600.
Right. Definitely, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like we are rich,
100 fans is
100,000.
100. How much money was in it?
Oh well, that was £1,600.
£1,000 is great in the short term, but good karma is worth a lot more than
Bro, there's people that spend that on their nails in like Chelsea, man. It's an
saying?
absolute insult to even like for us to put value on it, really.
Exactly.
Molly is the first dog trained to find and rescue missing cats. That's just made me laugh, innit? A 2-year-old Cocker Spaniel is the world's first cat detection dog. I just thought that is the reason I wanted to pick that is because it shows you like even different beings are capable of actual love and actually being able to like carve what they need to be that love for someone else. Last one, this is just sweet as shit for me, man. Marilyn Brooks of San Francisco, California, came home to a heartbreaking note from one of her neighbors. The 90-year-old woman living down the street wrote her a note saying she was lonely and could she be friends with her. The note said, "Would you consider to become my friend? I'm 90 years old, live alone. All my friends have passed away. I'm so lonesome and scared. Please, I pray for someone." The next day, the woman went to the house and bought her cupcakes, and now they're lifelong friends. That's mad, isn't it? Like, just, you know, war, terrorism, every morning. Why can't we do this?
Right, it's true. It's so
man?
true, though. Like, it's so true. Like, and that's an amazing thing. Like, I feel like we kind of forget when we're in our own elements and going through our own stresses. We forget there are older people out there that have lost their family members and friends, and they are alone. And like, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, man, that must be a very hellish situation to feel like alone, you've lost everyone. Imagine people coming to this earth and leave this earth. Right. And everyone they've known have gone. Right. And now they're sitting in like Elephant and Castle, which has suddenly become mad posh, and they're like, this is mad, that's happening right now. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's so true, though. It's so true.
All right, man, so Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism, that's what I'm about, that's what I practice, that's what I found. I was shakabuku about 2 years ago. Now, shakabuku, as you don't know, of course, is a Japanese word for kind of like you've been awoken to a greater truth that's like more than yourself. Right. So I was shakabuku by a woman, and it's funny because the person that gave me this beautiful gift actually ended up trying to kill me and actually tried to end up raping me. It was a very mad situation. But you've been honest telling me about your taking your own life. Yeah, but she's been sectioned since then. But this person was an angel, and I see them as an angel because it was through that dark situation, like the lotus flower we talk about in Buddhism. It's through that darkness that I found the greatest truth I've ever found. Right. And maybe it had to come to me in that dark situation because it is the greatest thing that would ever that will transform me, my future children, and their children if they all follow this path now. Right. And it is chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Now, a lot of people...
It's an amazing thing.
It's the most amazing thing, isn't it? Most people only know about chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for 2 people, and that's Herbie Hancock. Shaka Khan. Or does he do it?
Shaka Khan?
No. What, he chants? Shaka Khan.
She.
Is that a woman,
Yeah, she's like a Buddhist.
Bro, I didn't know about that.
Nah,
Sorry, Shaka
she
Khan.
was in that movie, I swear.
No.
So it is Shaka Khan, isn't it?
Shaka Khan is
I just thought it was a song. Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan.
Yeah, she sung Through the Fire and all those kind of songs.
She's done a movie, I'm pretty sure it was
Through
Shaka
the Fire.
Khan.
Yeah. Na. Okay, well, no, I didn't know she chants, but that's a good song. So.
That's like the only famous Buddhist I know.
Oh, no, I can tell you one more. So Tina Turner, first
That's
of all.
That's the one, Tina Turner.
Is that who you thought it was? Yeah. I was a Shaka Khan.
Miscellaneous black lady.
Yeah, miscellaneous.
Oh, shit, I always get them muddled up. I always get Tina Turner and Shaka Khan muddled up. Like,
yeah, man. So,
dopey.
Tina Turner chants.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, and then basically Herbie Hancock. They're the only 2 famous people in the world. So I've made it my mission to make myself as known as possible so that I can be someone who spreads this on almost like a kind of like large level as well. So they chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. If you ever seen a film called What's Love Got to Do with It?
That's the one. That's what I was thinking of. That's the
and like obviously she's at the bottom of her life and she's been beat up, and then someone introduces to her like this idea of a practice where you can kind of like become enlightened.
Yeah.
Let me read something so that I'm not misquoting anyone. This is why we practice Buddhism. Tell me if this relates with you. I'm sure it will. The purpose of Buddhist practice is overcoming suffering by unlocking our innate positive potential. When we are suffering, it is not easy to believe we can transform any situation and can change our lives. Nichiren Buddhism begins with the belief that all people can do exactly this. We begin this process of change through chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So my G, like, do you mind, and if you remember talking to like me about the first kind of times you chanted Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and what made you stay on? Because that's the hard thing when I try and shakabuku people, getting them to do it more than a week. Do you know what I mean?
I think what made me continue, because I'm very not, what's the opposite of disciplined? Undisciplined. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I'm very undisciplined. Like,
lazy, maybe.
Complacent. I prefer to use that term.
Lazy
I wouldn't say I'm lazy because like I do things, but I just don't do them to the best ability that I should. That we best
consistently.
Yeah, consistent.
I definitely roll with that as well. I'm the same.
So, but lazy, I think that's just like off the wall.
Lazy's almost
it's like got I'm just like not going nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So basically, I was introduced to it through a friend, and her sister was a Buddhist as well, who's also her name's Shauna. She's like a young women's district leader in that area.
Shauna, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, basically they both kind of introduced me to the practice, and I kind of just like, especially with Shauna, like I saw like what she had achieved through it, and like how far she'd come
and progressed
through the practice, and I kind of looked at her and like I haven't spoken to her in a long time now, but like I kind of looked at her and thought, not that I want to be her, but I want to find that kind of happiness. Like I want to kind of find that kind of, I want to be on that kind of path.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And like and I started to see some results, and I was like, wow. Like first result I saw, like I was like, wow, and then I thought, maybe it's just a coincidence. You know what I'm saying?
That classic word.
Second one, I was like, wow,
yeah, trust me,
definitely. And then today, you was with me earlier when I got that phone call about something I chanted. I'm not gonna go into it because it's personal.
Yeah.
But I chanted for something this morning, and then I got the phone call this evening when I met you, and it was what I chanted for this morning. And it was exactly literally, yeah. So, yeah, it's.
So you've definitely seen change. Do you feel like you've grown?
I do feel like I've grown. I feel like I've got a long way to grow as well, but I feel like I'm definitely on that path. So
what, like, we have to. I really want me and you to explain to people what even being on that path means, because that alone, is such like, what do you mean I'm on my path? People are like unconsciously reacting to life, thinking they're on their path, not realizing they're so distracted from, if you ask me, going inwards.
I think being on that path means like, so like you're kind of aware. So you're kind of aware of your flaws. You're kind of aware of what you need to change. You're kind of aware of where you need to get to as well. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you can do all three of those things, you're on that path really. If you're not aware of your flaws, if you're in total denial of yourself and you're not, if you're not clued up, like I feel like those three things for me personally, as long as you've got those three things, you're kind of on that path.
Okay, because for me, I think I've always been quite, do you know, first of all, we're all spiritual, We are all spiritual beings. I just choose to say I'm spiritual because I'm aware of the truth of what I believe is that we are more than just this 5 sense organism that just happens to be surviving on this planet. So there's a deeper purpose to our experience, So for me, I've always just been interested in the idea of religion. I was never one of them people that read all the Quran but I've always just dabbled.
Same.
And I've never felt aligned with any of them. They all felt a bit too controlling, slightly. Until I stumbled across Nichiren Buddhism. And I've come across Buddhism before and I always thought it was neat. And if I was young, it was no doubt the thing I would relate to the most. Like I'd be like, if I had to, I'd be a Buddhist that meditates. But I think first of all, it's very important for me to establish Nichiren Buddhism is a practice of Buddhism. There's many different practices.
Right.
So there's like ones where they have robes and they shave their hair and you deny yourself of things and go into the mountains and chant. Now, they all to me have a lot of truth and a lot of power, and they all are very relevant. However, I found so much truth in Nichiren Buddhism because it's about the individual person becoming the most empowered they can.
Right.
The happiest you can be today, right now.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like deny yourself of anything.
Right.
You don't have to suddenly give up meat, stop having sex, or cut off your dreads.
It's not. I think the reason I like it is because I wouldn't even class it as a religion. I'd say it's a way of life. It's a spirituality.
It's a philosophy.
And the thing is, it's like when I've spoken to other people who ain't even religious at all, like the whole concept of Buddhism, like they will like read The Secret and swear by The Secret, and I'm like, The Secret and Buddhism have got so many similarities.
It's the same. The Secret is
pretty
the
much
mystic law.
Trust me, it is. It's manifestation and things like that. So I definitely feel, for me personally, like you said, like I was brought up like in the church, like Catholic, and then I went into like foster care and children's homes, and I went to like the Pentecostal church and all that. And I never really felt that kind of connection. Like don't get me wrong, like it was all right. Like the people there were cool, but I just didn't feel that. And then when
completeness. Yeah,
and then when Nichiren Buddhism come along, like you know when something just clicks for you, and it's like, wow, this is the one. Like this just makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it literally just makes sense.
Yeah. So it's about basically chanting this phrase, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Japanese phrase. I've got it tattooed on me actually. I believe it's written in Sanskrit, but it's a Japanese phrase that I'm going to read it out. So Nam means devote in one's life. That's the first thing we say. But first of all, when I first read that, I was like, devote my what to bumba clock? I'm not kissing no man's feet. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's very important to understand what comes after that, which is myoho, So Nam Myoho. So myoho means the mystic law.
Right.
And it means myo is the name given to the unseen nature of life, and ho to the seen aspect. So basically, if I was to, from my aspect and from what I know, that kind of means instead of devoting myself, which you do if you believe in God, for instance, like an external God, you're giving all your power to this external figure you believe is external of yourself out in the universe somewhere, on a cloud, white man, big beard. You think that's like this is what they believe, yeah, Zeus, whatever you believe in. You're giving you're devoting yourself to that. Now, everything I've ever learned in Eastern philosophy says if you devote yourself to something you're not truly you're actually disaligned. Your chakras will always never be fully correct. You're slightly disaligned. You're giving all your external power to something else.
Right.
The mystic law, though, is something that we are. The law of gravity is part of who we are. All of these things, but we choose to call it the mystic law. So there's no actual external God. It's understanding there's this mystical element in the life. You know, the secret, like you said, talking about it, is the law of attraction. You know, I think just with Buddhism, it takes it further and tells you how you can use this law of attraction to really change your life and your life karma. So that's what myoho means. Renge literally means the lotus flower, which symbolizes cause and effect, and also it bears flowers and fruit at the same time. I can take it deeper as well. The reason the lotus flower is so amazing, it's at the very bottom of the swamp, right? And it's at the bottom of like the dirt, and it has to push through all of that to reach the very top to see the sky. And when it does, it blossoms, it's waterproof, it's absolutely beautiful. None of the dirt's on it anymore. It's like the most purest, whitest thing that's come from the bottom. So that's kind of like why you see all of these things sitting on the lotus flower. And then the end of that is kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which means sutra, the voice or teachings. So it's the sound vibration of everything, and that's what actually connects us. Yeah. So when we chant, we're chanting externally, because prayer is internal, it's a thought, but there's thought, and then you have to also put the sound vibration. Have you ever heard of Om chanting, fam?
I'm trying. No.
You know,
Oh yeah.
So that's something I did.
Is that like more meditation?
Yeah. And I still do it. I still find a lot of truths in it, even though I'm labeling myself a Nichiren Buddhist. The only thing in the world I'll label myself. I won't label myself a pescatarian, but I'm Nichiren Buddhist. I am firmly that. I still go to see Sri Swami Vishwanda, who's like a Hindu kind of like avatar, they say. He's like a person that just like, he's really awoken to his third eye and have blessings from him. But he's the person that apparently is the reincarnated man that started Om chanting. So I took that to the top level, and I became an Om chanter teacher, and I held circles in my house.
Wow.
Very powerful thing. People would come, do Om circles. You got to do it for 45 minutes. 6 people sitting outside.
The energy must have been insane.
Mad, like, bro. Yeah. And they got certain people smoking weed, or certain people doing all different things. But like, you got to, like, I was just there being very humble, making it a very internal, personal process. So yeah, you have 6 people sitting in, 3 people in the middle facing out, and then you create this energy, and it's just like, whatever you want to call it, it's just a lot of people trying to think positively. People would go feeling like lighter physically, like, and they would they've released stuff. Now that's Om chanting. And I'm saying, as a Nichiren Buddhist, I found something more powerful, which is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, because not everyone can do a 40-minute Om chant every single day.
Right.
The Buddha said in the latter day of the law, you heard of that? Latter day of the law?
Yeah.
When we are now, 2,000 years from when he died, people need a practice that's very practical, that you can do it walking in. Like, there has to be like almost like a secret to life, and it's chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. How often do you chant? Like, I'm someone that's militant. I'm not gonna
lie. Hence why I haven't received my gohonzon yet. But yeah, I do it about 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Like, I mean, like, there's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm and this ain't a good look, but I'm a really selfish chanter. So like, I will chant for other people and other things, but like, I will go ham with Nam Myoho Renge Kyo when there's something I need.
Yeah.
So like, say like, I've just applied for this job now, yeah. I know I'm gonna go ham with like the chanting, like, until like the interview happens, until I get the job. But then I know, like, once I get the job, because I'm gonna manifest it and it's gonna happen. But I know, like, after that, like, what?
There's a potential for you to drop off.
There's potential that I'll fall off. And I'm gonna try my hardest to not let that happen this time. But it's happened in the past with other things that I've manifested. So I need to kind of just keep that momentum going and just make more amazing things happen, rather than just let it fall off. And
I think today's proof for you, the phone call you had earlier before we started this podcast, like you said, you chanted for something and it happened.
Literally in the same
What's
day.
important, and it's not wrong to say that I'm selfish, because, you know, I always tell people, when you start chanting, man, be selfish. You've lived your life 20 however years not knowing or being unaligned. Be selfish, chant for that car, chant for your happiness. I think what gradually happens though, when you do find the time, which will always be perfect, when you want to do it a little bit more, you will start to realize the importance of doing it every morning and every night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you come out of the dream state and then you awaken, then you go back into it. These are very subtle times in the day and to plant certain seeds in them days, while accompanying it with this certain chant, and the Buddha said. Because it's also important to realize, imagine this, bro. You every time you said like 3 times now, you've chanted hard and something's come, yeah? Imagine you used to do it every single day.
Right. It'll be like consistent.
Even when the times are low,
Yeah.
your life state will be so high because of how much faith you've gathered from doing that you don't even see the low times as like low times anymore. Do you get what I mean?
True.
But yeah, I mean, I'm militant, as you know. I wake up, do gongyo. So let's maybe explain these terms, man. We've already heard the Gohonzon twice now, yeah. Do you mind explaining that, bro?
The Gohonzon. All right, so basically the Gohonzon is like a scripture It's in Japanese, I think, isn't it? Sanskrit.
It's a mixture of, I believe like Japanese and Sanskrit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a kind of piece of paper, like, and it goes inside the butsudan. And you receive that after you started chanting for a while, and like your district leader kind of like thinks you're ready.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of it, anyway.
Definitely. That's
So yeah, like clearly I'm not ready yet.
That's what I love about Buddhism, man. I'm hearing my man saying about district leaders and stuff. It's like some like proper movement. It's a proper organization.
it is amazing.
Just a quick
though.
question: is it like a community that with like an organised?
Bro, the
sort of
SGI is
meetings
the strongest communities, man. Like, if I was to connect you to the people right now, just here, in like Carshalton, there'll be like two men. One of them's designed to look after men that are over 40 years old, and then one's designed to look under men. 40 years old, you're still a young man. So I'm going to be in the young men's district until I'm 40.
Okay.
That's, by the way, how important we consider keeping that youthful spirit up until your adulthood. And when you like our leader, Daisaku Ikeda, he like runs the SGI. He's the living like Japanese president. He's like 90. He says we the youth need to continue doing things. Like he could like we the youth. He's 90, bro. Like, you know, and it's like it's the mind state of how like internally strong you are. But yeah, like it's a district, it's a movement. So anywhere in your area, if you search SGI and then like you get the number for Taplow Court, and then you say, yo, I live in like Tamworth Lane.
Yeah,
I
that's
live in
what
these
I've done
areas.
like with Acton, like, 'cause I
They'll
moved
hook you
the
up.
area, like, and I was like, yeah, I need to get connected with my district, and I was like,
Trust me.
what's your number? Then they put me in touch with this guy within like a few days.
And then some brother comes to your house with like a magazine like that, and then like takes you to the coffee shop and just says,
Literally.
bro, so you know you're living in the universe, right? And you're just like, what, all these mad like refreshing questions start coming to you.
And the energy is insane. And the thing is as well, like, don't get me wrong, like, chanting by yourself, like, is cool. But when you chant in a room full of other people, the energy is just, I'm telling you, like, I can chant for longer when I'm around other people. When I'm by myself, I'll get complacent and I'll do like 20 minutes max. Do you know what I'm saying? When I'm in like, there's times I've done, I think the longest I've done is 90 minutes. And that's not even, I know people that have done like hours.
Yeah,
but
people do like
4
every
hours
week,
and
like
shit.
10-hour Daimoku sessions.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Daimoku is like when you actually chant for like a period of time, like for a while.
They're doing 1 million Daimoku in my area, actually.
So like every district needs to try and achieve like a million hours.
Yeah.
And people think, what do you mean? Like, no. That's like when you join the SGI, you start to want to chant for hours. You start to realize how you're like polishing your tarnished mirror. Your tarnished mirror is your life, right? And like your karma and everything you do, it makes your like mirror tarnished. And when you chant, it starts to like scrub it clean. You see it. You start becoming mad connected and stuff. But yeah, man, the SGI is like a mad thing. And what they're trying to achieve is something called like a human revolution. So a human, like, everyone said it, like even Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, to make a change, you got to change yourself. Like, or they know them bait bars, like in order to absolutely change the world, every individual needs to change themselves. So imagine there was 7 billion people, that all move like Jesus, who was a normal man, by the way. He just had just a pineal gland was mad open. Like, you know, like imagine people were like that. The system and the hidden hands of society would like crumble. So like that's the biggest thing they're trying to stop. But so this is, I'm going to read this out. It's a small little paragraph, but it just explains what a human revolution is in the terms of what the SGI would say. So it says, a key concept in the SGI is human revolution. The idea that the inner transformation of an individual can cause a positive change in one's circumstances and ultimately in society as a whole. So it talks about like the butterfly effect of like how one person can change themselves and then everything changes. Such transformation comes through tackling challenges of life with Buddhist practice, seeking to develop one's potential, conquering one's negative tendencies, and taking responsibility for one's life and destiny. Change on a global scale comes about through this process of self-reformation in the life of individuals. SGI members believe that each individual has the power to develop a life of great value and creativity and to positively influence the community, society, and the greater web of life of which we are all part of. Nichiren Buddhism stresses that the greatest fulfillment in life is found ultimately in working for the happiness of others. So yeah, that was a mouthful. Most people know that I fell asleep. But basically, in a nutshell, in order to really make change, you change yourself, but you start to realize you actually you change other people, like to really help other people. Like I was on the phone, like on the way with this guy, he was deeply concerned about someone that he's just been chanting for. And it just makes me realize, man, like this is a practice that he's clearly like taken a part of, and it's making him deeply concerned. Like it's a difference between just being concerned and like actually truly taking it upon yourself to be concerned for someone. And by doing that, you're then actually polishing your mirror of your life, which goes back to do you know what I'm saying? And you become a lot more like connected. So, SGI stands for the Soka Gakkai International. Where do you go? Do you chant anywhere? Do you chant at Taplow Court ever, or?
I've been to Taplow once. That was amazing. I definitely need to go back there. 100%. I need to go back there.
Bro, you need to, if you can, try and receive your Gohonzon at Taplow Court.
My brethren received his at Taplow actually. He was like, he wanted me to go and receive it with him, but I wasn't ready.
So Taplow Court is like the European centre
Yeah.
but it's in Taplow, this area. Massive like grand castle, and like you turn up in there, there's dread man, there's white women, Asians, Hindu looking women all walking around the most like multicultural building.
Literally.
And everyone just like chants and like really like tries to focus on that positive energy. I received my Gohonzon there. When did I do it? February 7th. And that's another, for me, that was a sign because my number's 27 and it's just happened to be that it fell on that day. So February's the second month and it was on the 7th. So it was 27, 2017. So it was like 2727. If you're into numerology, are you into like angel numbers or numerology?
No, but I know I got the same birthday as Daisaku Ukaida.
No way.
Apparently. I think it's Daisaku,
is it
26th of January.
January, yeah.
Oh yeah, someone said that to me. Like, you got the same birthday. I think it's Daisaku, or maybe it's not, maybe it's one of the other people. I don't know. Apparently, I got the same birthday, but she might have been wrong. But she might have been wrong. It might have been one of the other people still.
Birthday. But yeah, so Daisaku Akida, by the way, guys, is the president of the Soka Gakkai International. So basically, let me try and put this into some historical terms, because I don't need, like, some people are thinking, what is all this Buddhism? So like, there's a lot of literature I can recommend in it. Basics of Buddhism is a very beautiful book. This one specifically, because it's very important to realize that we are we are different from many schools of Buddhism.
Yeah.
And then Buddha in Your Mirror. This is no doubt the book that changed my life the most, and made me want to chant. So 2,000 years ago, this guy meditated under a tree, Shakyamuni Buddha, and he realized that there was so much more to life. There's a whole story behind him. He was a prince, and he was very powerful and whatever. He decided to leave it all. He predicted 2,000 years from his death that basically what I interpretate the word indigo children or bodhisattvas are going to like arise, and they're really going to realize something's wrong in the world, and they're going to connect to their spirituality. It doesn't have to even be through Buddhism, guys, or Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Just like this strong power that we realize is something internal. So he predicted this. 700 years ago, a guy called Nichiren Daishonin was born, and in Japan, and I don't like using the term he was like the reincarnated Buddha, but he definitely held like the energy of like Shakyamuni Buddha, and he like kind of read everything Shakyamuni said and wrote about, and he basically realized, and it was in the Lotus Sutra, which is the flower sutra, that everything is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and it's very hard to explain what that means, but like when we chant it, we're chanting for our own life and for the universe, and it's like we're clogging our clogs of the clock to make our like self align with the universe, and it's that simple. And people, when I say this to some people, the mind, the left part of their brain starts going mad. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's got to be a million other questions. It's as simple as understanding this: the mystic law is mystic, and in this 5 sense human reality, we will never really understand the whole like unfathomable universe.
Some things are like outside of our intelligence.
It's and for good reason. It's not not like I always bang on about this fluoride, but there's a deep reason why everything's perfectly how it's should be right now.
Right.
And he said, basically, if we chant this, 2,000 years on, it's going to really help us to reconnect with our spiritual self. And the most powerful thing in the universe, which is this energy, that like is mystical. Literally, like I can honestly say I would die for the SGI. And I don't want to say like that sounds crazy, but like I know it's my truth. So much like someone else can have their truth, and I will sit down and listen all my life, and I'm sure it's their truth, but for me, I can't give you anything more than saying if someone sits down and chants, bro, you can actually change your life.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? And like what I was saying earlier is that sometimes people come to me and they'll try this technique that the Buddha said of chanting for about 10 minutes for like 10 days, and they say nothing really happened. And I say to them, listen, when you chant, you have to see it as like it's a drip on a stone. And
you can't just say it like you can't just say Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and not focus. Like you got to channel at the same time. You can't just like say it and not manifest at the same time. You got to focus when you do it as well. It's not just saying it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question just for like me being a total non-Buddhist and not knowing a lot about Buddhism at all? Is that what is the actual like process of chanting? Like, can you talk people through what the actual process is? Like, how long it takes, how you need to be positioned, like what you think about, and because obviously we're talking about chanting for particular things, like how that works as well.
So like, basically, this is what I would say to anyone who wants to chant for the very first time. it's a process of, first of all, following your intuition and actually realizing that any effort is the most important thing. So you can't ever do it wrong. That's the first thing, because people always think there has to be some kind of formal way you do this. And if you do it wrong, if you go nam yo renge kyo instead of nam yo renge kyo, you've done it wrong. Suddenly there's going to be some black magic on you or something. Like people think, like, do you know what I'm saying? People are really nervous.
Right.
So the first thing is to realize just the attempt alone has changed your karma on a profound, subtle level. The fact that you're a seeking spirit willing to try something that you've heard is powerful. For me, I like to do it in the evening and I like to do it in the morning. This is what we call a gongyo ceremony. But this is when you become more like into the SGI. So someone who's brand new, you wake up, and you just face a blank wall or a mandala or like a candle, something that's going to allow your mind to stay focused and like not have many thoughts. And thoughts are going to come into your mind. You're going to start to think of things and you can just try and be detached. Just imagine like a piece of like the water from the tide, just coming in and washing away them thoughts. And when you realize you're settled, at first I just did it sitting down. That's how I, like sometimes, trying to feel spiritual. If you're not spiritual, try to feel spiritual. Try to do it on the joke thing. I'm going to sit here. It will help, like the incense. Just try and be like as calm and as natural as possible. But you could do it on the bus, by the way, but I'll go into that. You're going to sit there very calm, face a wall, and then you're just going to start to chant. And if you don't know how to do it, you can go on YouTube. There's different speeds. Just write Nam Myoho Renge Kyo in. Don't think about whether I'm doing it right or not. Just hum it. Like, you know, like when I'm around people and like my young men in my district that I look after, they're very timid and shy. Like they're going, Nam Myoho Renge, and they think that I'm judging them. Like the fact they're doing that is the most profound thing. They just don't realize it. But eventually, the more you do it, you become confident. And the idea is we're trying to do this. We're trying to, basically, Buddhism, we're trying to have a heart of a lion king. So eventually, you roar it out. It's actually
stripping
what happens.
of the ego, basically.
Yeah, it was basically
well,
what happens. Yeah. Because, you know, that's just like, that's just your nerves. But you have to also understand, I know people that are like, what happens if you're dumb and you have no tongue? Does it mean you can't, like, you're not going to be able to, like, does it mean the universe made a mistake with you? No, like, just, there's been cases of people having comas and they remember just thinking, so they chanted and it made a change. Wow. But the most powerful way and the way we should do it, if we can do it, is using the sound vibration. People don't realize there's Wi-Fi signals and phone signals going all over us. We have something a million times more powerful, our own spirit, that we can chant and make a sound with. Like, you're listening to me right now because I'm thinking of something and pushing sound to you, brother, and you're somehow receiving this. Like, you have to understand. Do you know that it's so powerful that people don't understand, but yet they'll believe that I can send a text to my girl somewhere in another country or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Just that quickly. Right. And that makes more sense to them than our own organism. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So anyway... You chant, so you're going to chant, and I would always say, try at least for 5 minutes. Now, some people think that's not long enough. Some people think 5 minutes, what? Bruv, try it, it's a long time. To try and just focus your mind, go, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. You can do it fast, Some people, as you know, that have gone to the centre, they're like, they're going mad, innit?
True.
I like to do it like a galloping horse. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. You can never say it wrong, it's just the effort. Yeah. Eventually you'll always, because it's the truth of who we are, if you ask me, so you'll figure it out eventually. And you're just gonna do it for about 10 minutes. And this is when the interesting thing is, when you're doing it, eventually you'll realize it's like, you go autopilot with your voice, and then in your mind, you can start to think of, never try and strategize how your mum's going to become better. If your mum's ill, don't try and think how she's going to become better, because that's the mystic law's job. We can't understand that. That's the first thing us humans have to release, right? Yeah. We have to forget. We have to realize there's like a mystical thing. If we're attached to the left brain, how are we going to do this? The doctor, we can't afford this. What's money, bruv? Someone just spent £1,000 on nails a minute ago, apparently. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? So anything's possible. So release it. So I'll think of my mum, I just think of the word victory, health, like, you know, like the most positive thing, and then just think you're channeling all of that energy. By the way, there's like a statistic. At any given time, there's like 3 million people chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo at every split second in the world. Wow. Like, so, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that means that sometimes I just chant and I just imagine every one of their voices channeling through me, and it really helps.
It's like, I know, like, he said that, like, sometimes he just hears the vibration goes past his ear, like, it's mad, like.
Anyone that you've ever heard that does chanting, if you speak to them, they'll always say they've had like this, like, familiar feeling when they do it. Like, it just feels familiar. If you ask me, I believe in reincarnation. Have you seen the new film, The Purpose of a Dog's Life? No, it's like being advertised now, and it's all about reincarnation. But I'm a deep believer in reincarnation. I just come back from Paris, learned about the French Revolution, went to Versailles, and it was just the most amazing thing. Like, I was walking around and deeply connecting with the area, feeling like I've been there before. Right. But that's because I think I'm really starting to align my energies. I'm in nature every day now, chanting with my bare foot. Like, everything's cleansing, so I'm starting to really focus on like my past lives, and I believe it so much that I was there. I actually believe I was that around Maximilian Robespierre, like I was saying earlier, this brother that actually started the revolution. Like, I literally had like this just deep intuition that I was there. Anyway, So yeah, when you're chanting, man, basically you just want to chant, you want to face a wall, you want to just be as clear as possible, you want to ask basically for guidance, you want to just ask for strength, and the most important thing you need to ask for when you're chanting is proof. Because what faith is something you have to earn. You have to like really understand faith, and you can only understand it through testing it. So what I mean is, you're gonna chant to this wall, and you're gonna go, I want proof. Show me proof that this Buddhism works. I've got so many stories and case testimonies. I'll tell it to someone. I'll say, yo, tonight I want you to just focus on the word proof. Like, universe, show me proof. Show me proof. The next day, my brother, he's a PT in the Harbour Club. The next day, he has a client comes in. She's a Nichiren Buddhist. She's got her prayer beads around her neck. He's never heard of Nichiren Buddhism in his life, ever. Right. Meets me one night. I tell him about it. He chants it. Next day, his client is a Nichiren Buddhist. Coincidence. Like, and it's just like, but I could tell you stories like that forever. So that's a sign. And then he was like, okay, so if that's happened, and I was only asking for proof, imagine the things you can ask for and you can really start to change and develop, and it starts to just get like unfathomably crazy. Does that kind of make sense? Like how you like just start chanting. So you... Yeah, so you chant for so you want to chant for like 10 minutes, and then like for me afterwards, I like to sit in the silence for a minute or two. I'm like that proper spiritual guy, man. Like when I first started chanting, I had like Hindu head wraps around my head and stuff, and I would like had all incense burning, and like I would be chiming my bells and stuff. The more I became an SGI Buddhist, I recognized that it's not wrong to do that, but I recognized that that's all like that was like me mixing loads of philosophies, like the Hindu stuff. Like eventually, I really there's nothing more powerful for me than Nichiren Buddhism. And I love it. You can wake up groggy, you can chant for stuff. Like, it just gives me this like boost. Whenever I perform or whenever I'm about every catwalk I've ever done, if you ever see any footage or photo of me, I'm chanting in my head, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Wow. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm paranoid, but don't trip, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. You know what I'm saying? do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely something. I'm just trying to see actually when he was born. He was born, the 2nd of January. Is that what you said?
Yeah, someone said this to me, you got the same birthday. I think it was Daisaku Okada. Maybe she was mistaken because I never researched it myself. But she was like, maybe not.
I don't know if I read this earlier. I don't think I did. This is some just SGI guidance. This is from the 27th of May, which is not today, but 27 is my number, so I thought, let me see it. It says, forward, always forward. This is the basic spirit of Buddhism. Nichiren's teachings is the Buddhism of true cause. We live with our own gaze fixed on the future, not hung up on the past. To advance eternally, this is the essence of life and the essence of what it means to be a practitioner of Nichiren Buddhism. Man, like being a Buddhist just basically gasses me. Like every month they get this magazine called The Art of Living. I highly recommend people looking at it. Look at that, like the cover is just jokes, like the power of youth. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm that black woman there, man. Trust me, like just powerful as hell, ready to like climb every mountain, and everything is just deeply like there's like I was saying about life. I don't know if I said this on it or earlier when we was chilling. When you're born, life is inevitable suffering. Right. Like, from the moment that you're born, if you can't feed yourself to the day you die, you're going to suffer. So basically, we've been born, some people think, into a trap where you are just going to, you've been born as an organism and you're just suffering. But the Buddha said this is suffering that's actually given to us to turn poison into medicine, to us to really actually change who we are and to use it to actually kind of, like I keep saying, like polish the tarnished mirror of our life. Do you know what I'm saying? As a Buddhist man, like as someone who wants their gohonzon, like where do you see like the world going? Because it's scary times right now, man. Like to some people, I think it's the most exciting because I don't believe the hype. But do you know what I mean? Like because you're part of something like you were saying earlier. You've been an activist, right? Yeah, I've done like protests and stuff. Like I've done got involved in that. I've been to like a few protests. Like I've also got involved in like community initiatives and stuff like that as well. So yeah, like I've done things like that. I'm also part of like a BLM BAM, which is like we kind of split apart from Black Lives Matter, and because we kind of didn't like the way it was heading, and we felt like it kind of got infiltrated. Like that's a whole next story that I'm not gonna get into. I don't know, man. I like that topic. Like, all I'm gonna say on Black Lives Matter is, I think first of all, no one ever heard me say it once personally. Black Lives Matter. I think it's definitely, don't get me wrong, it's not bad that people are saying that. I just think once again it's just another quote, unfortunately, that conquers and divides us more. It's like saying Black Lives Matter and like not that everyone else doesn't, but to me it was almost like well, I don't want to go deep into it, but I don't even believe all these white police that are killing these people. I don't think it's just a coincidence. I think it's a very much part of a plan. Yeah, of course. To make black people hate the police, and the police are just victims as well, just like the people. So the police are very nervous of the black people. you're very anti-police, but I think you had to understand. I know Buddhist policemen. I know Buddhist Metropolitan Police.
No,
They're innocent as hell. So it's humans.
I will never sit here and say every single police person is bad because I know
the system. I'm here right.
I know police officers. Yeah, I know. Like I think to me, like I'm a revolutionary, so I'm anti-system. So like I'm anti-government. Does that mean that every single politician is bad? Like no, I'm a fan of Jeremy Corbyn. I'm a fan of Caroline Lucas from the Green Party as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So there are some good apples in the bad system. I don't like police, but I'm not going to say that every police officer is bad. There are some. I've got a brethren who's a police officer up in Birmingham, and he's in it for the right reasons, and he genuinely is in the job for the right reasons because he does want to make a change. Do I think he's necessarily going to be able to make that change with the way the system's set up? I hope he does. I hope he does. I'm not going to say it. I haven't got much faith in the police personally because I've been through police brutality myself. Like, literally, like, my foster brother got killed by the police. Well, it got covered, like, basically they tried to say that he killed himself, but even all the neighbours said that, basically, like, yeah, long story but short. Anyway, I haven't got much faith in the police. But what I'm trying to get to is that I'm just, like, kind of anti-system. Like,
I'm definitely anti-system,
I think the system itself is designed to oppress people, and I think there are some good apples in it, and I feel like where we are right now, like, the world's very divided, and I feel like we're either with them or against them.
Do you see the danger in saying Black Lives Matter, though?
Personally, I say Black Lives Matter, and the reason I say that is because I feel like we as a black people have been conditioned for so long to have hate within ourselves. Do you know what I'm saying? And our lives do matter, and I feel like to like white supremacists and stuff and people at the top, like our lives don't matter, and there's a lot of white supremacists, let's face it, in the government, in the police, not saying they're all like that, but there are a lot
of course,
and they set up certain things, and like I think this is where maybe like our opinions may differ, which is cool because we're humans, and you know like we're gonna have different opinions on things, but I feel like with the Black Lives Matter movement, I feel like there's a lot of people with like wrong agendas, and I feel like I'm all about, I think what we forget is that black love doesn't mean that hate white people. Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that other lives don't matter. It just means that Black Lives Matter as well.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I feel like people kind of like, I mean, it's controversial, you know, like, and I've got into debates with people, and I've even fallen out with people, and I've realised that I've come to a place in my life now, I don't even want to argue with people, fall out with people anymore. I feel like we can all have a mature discussion about things, and like we can all have our points of view and like be mature about it, you know?
I think, and we're going to end this in a moment, but I think for me, and this is going to be quite nice because I hope it leads on to kind of like my next podcast, which is going to be someone that I really want to go into conspiracies with. Right. But it's the idea that I totally understand why people be shouting Black Lives Matter. I totally understand why people are oppressed and like they feel like there's a white supremacy. Remember that the white supremacy is only like 1%. There's 99% white people are blessed and most amazing humans. So there's like this thing where
I've got love for my white people. Them, like, I've got some of my best friends are white. Some of my best friends are white. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So
family, you know what I'm saying? I'm not anti-white.
The reason I'm such a conspiracy theorist is because almost all of these videos, that we've seen and everyone's like so angry about, of these like police that are killing black people, the people running away in the back, they've almost never like 100% been proven as crisis actors, or like, you know, when there's like bombs in Paris and then bombs in Boston, someone's leg's been blown off. Like I could almost prove on all of them, that one of them was in Afghanistan and his leg was blown off months before.
But I don't get how they fan people's passports after they've been blown up.
And they're bomb-proof. So what I'm trying to say is, they set these, it's called problem, reaction, solution, They create a problem, and we react, and we don't understand, though, that the problem was created by them, which is they're going out, sleeper spies, where they paid for these motherfuckers, to go and kill these black people, with the best brother catching it on the best angle ever. Like, I don't know if you saw the guy getting pulled off the plane and shit, like, recently. And have you man see that? He's getting pulled off the plane,
United Airlines.
Come on, that's not a human, And the way they're doing it, it's almost like they're robots. It's like they're doing it so that people start to really hate the system and start to hate each other. So they're trying to make black people hate the police, and then we start saying Black Lives Matter. And I just think it again conquers and divides. But that's leading into conspiracies and stuff. It's just
I also think like from the position of a white male, that for anyone to be annoyed at the term Black Lives Matter, it's just the most ridiculous thing ever. Like I saw this comedian Michael Che, I think it is, and he's like, we're not saying Black Lives superior. We're just saying matter. You know, food matters. Things like all these simple things matter, and to say that Black Lives Matter is an offensive statement or is a ridiculous thing because no one's saying superior, no one's saying we're
Black
all
lives
on the
are more.
search for
Yeah,
equality.
yeah.
No one's looking like for superiority. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for me, it's just it's a shame that we're in 2017 and black people are still on the streets screaming that our skin color matters, and like so that, and do you know what I mean? Like as a bodhisattva, like it's strictly only the power of humans. So I really don't see anything else other than human life. So that to me still is a slightly lower vibration of like my skin matters. It's almost like we should really be conquering.
And it's almost,
human matters.
it's almost like
the
it's
end
almost
of the
like we're
day,
making teams, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
that's
your
what I mean.
team against my
it's
team, and
labels
it's like
again.
let's all be together.
That's what they do
That's
when
what
they
I'm saying.
capture these
And
brothers.
don't get me
killing
wrong,
people.
like the whole concept of race shouldn't even be there, because really and truly, we like, if you want to be technical, we are the human race, but labels are there and we have been divided, and there are systems set in place to oppress people, whether like you're black, white, gay, straight, like disabled, do you know what I'm saying, like transgendered, like there's so many things, like, and people are oppressed like in different ways. And I feel like at the end of the day, like people want to say, oh, there is only one race, the human race, then we need to all start treating each other like we're a human race. Do you know what I'm saying? And until that day happens,
definitely.
like, and until that day actually happens where we all come together as a human race, we are going to be divided, you know? And unfortunately,
There's philosophy and there's reality at the end of the day, isn't there?
Right.
Everyone-
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
The reality is that like someone's gonna like hate my hair and call me a monkey most probably in the next few days, like they always do. And that doesn't. But then, do you know what I mean? But I just think it's our duty as the high vibrational people to try and push a slightly different message, remembering the power of the butterfly effect and just the way we think in art. That we talk about humanity matters, getting together as a people, because the only way we can bring them down is when we all come together. And we're not all gonna come together when it's KKK, black, white, Jew. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very important. That's why I say it's definitely not wrong. And it's definitely, this is just my opinion. But yeah, that's why I never once said Black Lives Matter, because I feel like I'm still of a slightly lower thought pattern if I'm saying that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If I'm honest, just the idea that I'm still not, because if I believe as well, it's all part of a plan and it's actually all been planned, then I'm actually playing their game. That's what I believe. Do you know what I'm saying? If I truly believe that someone actually set these people up to be killed so that there's more anger and vibration.
I hear where you're coming from, but like for me personally, it's because of my own personal experiences and like someone.
But this is why it's important to be unattached to
that's what I'm
death
saying.
and your personal
Yeah,
experience.
it's not easy
do you know what I
to
mean?
do
No,
that,
of course,
you know?
no. But that's why, of course, G. But that's why it's important to be detached, because someone's being raped right now and there's black people being beat up right now. But in order to see it as a consciousness for the humanity and for the 23rd and 24th situation, you can't be concerned about your one personal situation. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I feel you. That makes sense.
No offense, but that's what I'm saying. It's very important to be detached from our own personal feeling and see the greater truth. Because otherwise, black people are always going to say, ban, but like the Bloods killed my thing, so I hate the Bloods for life. Or police kill my thing, so fuck the police, man. They killed my brother, they killed my brother. But it's like, what if that policeman killed him because he didn't realize he was also part of this whole mad deep web? But anyway, Rels, you're my man. I really appreciate it, man. And where can I find you, by the way? You're on Facebook, Instagram, what are you doing?
Facebook, Relly Rels, Instagram, Relly Rels. That's RELLIRELLZ, and Twitter as well, Relly Rels. Just SoundCloud as well, Relly Rels.
My man.
Yeah, man, just Google me.
And everyone that's watching, man, yeah, like just we're gonna go deeper and deeper on like Buddhism with more with people like that really been practicing for years that can educate me. And yeah, man, thank you for watching. It's gonna be a madness, but we're gonna change this world, though.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Blessings, man.
My man, thank you, King. You're blessed.
Rastafari clean out. Babylon them a fool down. Babylon them a fool down.
Down.
When I stamp on the stamp ground, Rasta you